When a few months ago we aired episodes on the optimization of the human body and athlete performance, we couldn't even guess that this topic would cause so many positive reactions from our audience. In these episodes, basketball players talked about the way certain techniques and methods implemented by performance coach Mihajlović helped them prepare for tough seasons and made them feel better on the court. In a short span of time, Mr. Mihajlović showed us different perspective on the physical preparation of athletes, the ways to speed up their recovery and how players should be taken care of, on and off the court. Due to tremendous interest and wish of our audience to further explore the topic of optimization of the human body, we decided to delve into the importance of the immune system with Mr. Mihajlović. In this episode, we will discuss how much certain immune system-related diseases limit or prevent a head coach from being at a top level at each training session and each game. Are coaches more susceptible to autoimmune disorders because of the nature of their work and their way of living? In what ways do stress and insomnia reduce a coach's performance? For more on these and many other topics, stay tuned as we pick brains with Mihajlović, performance coach at the Georgia national basketball team, a man who is trying to merge all methods and techniques he is using in sports to help athletes achieve the best possible results and maximize their efficiency. Aleksandar Džikić, basketball coach and head coach of the Georgia national basketball team. Besides his colossal knowledge of basketball, Mr. Džikić is very devoted to the well-being of his players. And Dr. Stuart Gilespi, an expert in immunology with whom Mr. Mihajlović cooperates closely in an attempt to locate and analyze physical problems caused by the immune system. We are convinced that this story will change your view on the physical preparation of athletes and inspire you to pay attention to your own well-being.
Does the expectation of the club, fans, players and finally the coach himself causes, of course, stress? How stress in everyday life of coach can be connected to immune system response and what can coaches do to prevent health issues?
You can't avoid stress, right? And so stress is good and bad at the same time, right? And so we need stress in order to drive ourselves. We need stress to increase our performance. That's where stress is important. We need it. Otherwise we wouldn't be able to drive and become the competitors and the athletes that we are, or we're trying to coach. But also, if you have too much stress, too much chronic stress, then it does influence the immune system and it actually suppresses the immune system. And so that's when your reactions to stress is important. And so reactions to stress are much more important than the stress itself. And these do come out in immune ways. These do come out in immune dysfunction ways. And so allergies being one, and fevers being another, itchy skin being another, anxiety, depression, fast heart rate, blood pressure stuff are all signs that immune system is becoming overactive, yeah.
Focus is extremely important for a coach, but how does insomnia affect whether the coach will be ready to give his best during the game?
I'm famous for not sleeping enough. Yeah, I guess, sleeping is important. You're getting good sleep is important. You know, as, part of the day when you're like trying to recover yourself, on all the levels, all the systems. I guess it's important. Quality sleeping is also important. As far as I know, I'm not expert, the guy on the right is. It's connected to immune system directly, like totally direct. It's a highway between sleeping well and immune system. So I guess something is super wrong with me and not sleeping the right way. But listen, then at the end, like there is something super funny. Over time, you adjust. Same as players. When they have minor injuries, minor micro, how you call them, tears and all that, they just put it on side, they keep on going. It's the same as me, same as players, like you simply learn how to function when something is not 100%. The thing is, you never perform when you're 100%. That's also that's the real face of sports. We are not 100% when we perform. Players, coaches, no, we're not. And that's a part of, You will not perform only when you're feeling wow. And that's a part of being pro, that's a part of, being, able to understand that it's part of your job. I'm talking about professional athletes now. Nobody cares. They want to see you on a certain level. As an athlete, you have your name, you have a rating, and every game, you are basically defending your name and your rating. Because if you're not able to do that, it's going to be the next one, please. That's the nature of sports.
To go back on the sleep, it's huge. It's huge right now in sport. It's unbelievable huge. Like that is maybe one of the, besides the court and what you do on the court.
Yeah, top 5.
What he is, it's huge. It's up there. So like people struggle even now, like too many informations, phone, you absorb like too many information, your sympathetic nervous system, it's on fire. So you cannot go to sleep even if you want. Even if you go to sleep, it's not high quality sleep. So you wake up feeling super tired, you wake up, everything is in pain. So that's deeply connected how you're gonna perform. And not only the athletes, so we have like in our surroundings, we have different people. We have I don't know, actors, we have IT guys, we have a CEO making like strong decisions, super important decisions, and it's connected, and it comes also with immune system. Like sleep and immune system, they are like this.
Trick question for you, Stuart. If you have to choose with a good sleep versus good nutritional habits, what's your pick?
It's definitely good sleep.
Yeah.
So you can get away with nutritional habits if you can sleep, to be honest.
Yeah, obviously.
But the three biggest drivers of cortisol, right? Your stress hormone, right? 3 biggest drivers are how you sleep, how you move, and how you think. Much more important than actually diet and inflammation. Not that diet and inflammation is not important, right? Diet is important, but above that are how you think, your own thoughts about yourself, your own mental health, your own anxiety, depression, what your own internal thoughts are, number one, in terms of like high cortisol and immune responses to your thoughts. And sort of how you sleep is the next thing, is because if you recover when you sleep, you relax, you calm down your nervous system when you sleep, you recover, you heal when you sleep, you burn fat when you sleep, you build muscle when you sleep, you heal when you sleep. And so lack of sleep prevents those things from happening. And then the third thing is how you move, and how you sort of, the way you move and how you move. Are you over exercising? Are you over training? Are you catabolic rather than anabolic? And so sometimes when you move, you want to be anabolic, particularly when you have a catabolic type injury. If you're tearing your body down, you want to start moving anabolically rather than catabolically. So those 3 things are much more important than.
Are you accepting the fact that different athletes have different time that they need to sleep? Or you think it's just, hey, you gotta sleep 8, you gotta sleep 6 hours, or people like to say like, hey, you need to sleep certain amount of time in order for everything to be all right, which
there is no set time, as you say. It's quality and depth of sleep, right? I mean, everyone sort of says you have to sleep 8-9 hours. If I sleep 8-9 hours, I actually wake up overtired if I sleep 8-9 hours. And so, as you say, that comes into like the individualization of these programs, is that some people only need 4 hours sleep, some people only need 8 or 9, and so this is where you have to sort of individualize that.
What would you say it's like a minimum?
I would say minimum would be 4, I would say, minimum, all right, and each night. So, because I mean, there's certain processes that happen when you sleep, like detoxing toxins and repairing and losing body fat and increasing muscle weight and increasing repair of the tissues. That doesn't happen until at least 3 or 4 hours in. They said that growth hormone, which is your biggest driver of healing, your biggest driver of repair of tissues, doesn't come in until about 3 or 4 hours of sleep. And so that's where your optimum is you try and get at least 3 or 4 hours for that growth hormone production to take place. And testosterone and muscle building type stuff is 3-4 hours. So people sleeping 1-2 hours don't get into those deep healing states. That's for sure.
Frequent travel, changing time zones, sleeping on buses, airplanes, at airports are also problems faced by athletes and also coaches.
It's adjustments. You need to adjust. The thing is, what's super important? It's super important that people who are paying you, people who are, on the top of organizations, understand that all those things that we are talking about right now, and we call them off-court, are directly connected with on-court performance. Directly. The way you travel, super important. The way you eat, the way you rest, the way you practice.
How many obligations off the court you have when you have those obligations?
In nowadays, with all the social media universe and all that, how many, as I said, how many things you need to do out of the court, which are important. Wherever we go, we try to explain everybody, court and what's happening in court is the most important. And you know what? People don't accept that like super happy. You're PR, you're public relations person. You think that you are the most important. He's the guy from marketing. He believes that he's the most important. Stuart is the ticketing guy. No, he believes that sales of tickets is super important. Philip is performance. He believes that he controls everything. Then I'm a head coach and say, okay, F you guys, I'm the one who's important. And then the owner comes and says, no, I am the one who's important. And look, in reality, if you cannot control all those things, basically your percentage to have a successful season is simply lower. And you know what? They will not give you, by default, all that space, all that freedom that you operate. I think that's a part of coaching job, to fight for that type of control of the team. I think that's super important. Explaining, we had that first year in Jerusalem. We were lucky to work with a person who, at the end, understood what we're trying to do. And to be honest, we felt like we were cooks in his restaurant. The restaurant is his, but I'm a cook. Let me cook. Don't tell me how to cook. And in the real world, of course, the owners of restaurants, they want to have input on what you cook in, how you cook, how you serve, how you work with how you call them, guests, clients, whatever, I don't know. So it's just, it comes with the experience, it comes with the success or less success in your previous part of the career. It comes with the level where you coach. It comes with expectations. Expectations that's the root of all the heartache. That's, I think, William Shakespeare, not me. But I think that's true. How many times you read 2 months before the season people talking about expectations. We expect to do this, and this season, and you don't even know your own team. You don't know opponent's team. So for me, that's not a serious level of doing this type of job, but it is reality. So.
What other factors, health issues, may decrease efficiency of a coach during the practice and the game and are related to the immune system, allergies, migraines, hemorrhoids, liver problem?
These are sort of ideas is that we don't think we have immune problems when we have allergies. We don't think we have immune problems when we have hemorrhoids. We don't think we have immune problems when we have nightmares when we sleep. And so those are all related to the immune system now, sort of immune system dysfunction. And so don't wait for those things to become a serious problem before you do something about them. And so prevention is always better than cure, right? And so quite often we wait until we're really bad. We wait until we sort of break down before we do something about this. But if small little things done every single day on a consistent basis is much better for you than trying to heal yourself from a muscle tear or a chronic pain or a chronic dysfunction that you've been dealing with for months now and told nobody about, didn't tell your coaches, didn't tell your doctors about, because you're afraid of losing your spot in the team and ruining the chemistry of the team. And so I think this is where openness needs to be developed in these sort of teams, that to be allowed to talk about some of your injuries sometimes, because we shouldn't be training when we're sick, we shouldn't be training when we're injured, but quite a lot of the time I think the players are.
Headaches, migraines, stomach ulcers, disease of the digestive system are just some of the common ailments that affect those who are involved in the coaching business.
Yeah, sure. As Stuart said, listen, there's a long list of reasons that you will not be on your 100%. I mean, obviously sleep, eating habits, understanding of, now I will say something super stupid, understanding of life, like understanding of what things you can control and what you don't have under your control. And it takes a lot of discipline and knowledge and life experience to understand and start following that one of the top 3 advices from life coaches, like don't let things that you cannot control ruin what you can control. Oh yeah, it's super easy to say. It's super hard to do it and follow it. And all those problems with the inner organs and all that, yeah, could be problems. I'm a king of it, probably. But again, as Stuart said, you either recognize those first signs or not. You either believe it's important or not. Listen, somebody wants to live 100 years. Somebody wants to live 50. It all depends. So I think it's super individual. That's super individual. There is no right or wrong way and all that. You know, sometimes people believe they live healthy, but do they live happy? And vice versa. So I'm 53 now. So I believe every coach, and I'm coaching from 91. And like, it's how many, 33, 34 years or whatever. And like you start asking yourself, what is enough? Understanding what enough, it's also super important in life, in sports, in coaching. Planning, we call it load of the practice also. So what's enough? I don't know. I'm asking myself that a lot. I know many older coaches, they still have crazy energy, unbelievable energy. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, this is what I want to put it as a topic, like energy and what you can achieve in life, super connected to amount of energy that you can spend every day. So if you go out on a game and spend energy and tomorrow you feel super exhausted, well, I think it's also like a part of the talent, like 50%, but I also think it's part of the nervous system, immune system thing, and you can increase the capacity of energy that you can spend of whatever you're doing. So I think energy is also coachable, and I think the energy is also treatable, that if you target what are the main causes driving your energy system to drop down, that you can increase the energy, and then either you can live longer or work longer or...
And just to make it clear, everybody wants, like we were talking about selection as a coaches too, everybody wants energy givers, not energy takers. You really try to avoid energy vampires. And it's the same with the coaches. It's easier to play for the coach who is, let's say, energized. And then if you find a balance between energized and looking like a clown, which are not the same things, but again, some people really believe in a calm approach. It's connected to your personality. There's no like
It's like a style.
Yeah,
Right?
I call it style, a way of living, or whatever it is.
And there's different styles, of course, right? So
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Are sports coaches, due to the amount of the stress and lifestyle, more susceptible to autoimmune disease?
The connection between the nervous system and immune system, it's on the top. It's on the top of the list. So 100%, 100%. So if you're working in a high stress environment, your body is on fire all the time. So you need something to cool it down. So and nervous system and having a team around you, like he was telling before, assistants. So like assist, right? So this is your role. So what I'm doing, I'm assisting what he wants. So I'm not the guy like a center figure. I assist. So I try to recognize what he needs as a person, as a human being, what he needs in the system, what he wants from his players, and then assist. So why? Not only to be more efficient, but to decrease the stress. Like he's a front runner. He receives the hits from everybody. So we are back behind him. We don't feel the wind, right? So we have to kind of help him, like push him a little bit, or catch him if it's too much, so he can be his longevity can be better. Like he can go further. Like he can go 3 days in a row, or he can go a month, or he can go 10 years in a row. So this is what I see my role working with him. Definitely, and immune system. Again, we speak about here about immune system because I believe it's a neglected system. It's huge, like what you can accomplish by targeting the immune system on a right way, right?
yeah, for sure. And we always think that we need some sort of really nasty infection to have an autoimmune disease, like a parasite or a Lyme disease or a bacteria or a fungus. We always think that that's the root cause of autoimmunity. Not these days. We're seeing so much more stress-induced autoimmune disease these days. From the pandemic, from lockdown, from people being separated from their kids and separated from their parents, separated from their team, separated from each other, that drove autoimmune situations without the presence of an infection. And so this is where emotional trauma, even as childhood trauma, even reliving certain emotional patterns that haven't been corrected, haven't been adjusted, and we talked about adjustment earlier. When you're stuck is when you have the most serious problems, is when you're stuck. When you're adaptable, when you can move to stress, when you can adapt to stress, those are the most successful people when it comes to immune problems and autoimmune situations. But the biggest driver, or one of the biggest drivers of immune conditions, autoimmune conditions, is stress, is emotional stress, and too much physical stress without the presence of an infection. So they have to be addressed too.
We mentioned before the way of life of a coach who is separated from family and friends and children. No one looks at that aspect of emotional life of a coach, but everyone looks at the coaching call through the prism of money.
Yeah, you make money if you're successful. What is the percentage of coaches who are making money? It's not high. I mean, making money the way people think we are making money. I mean, you need to be super lucky, among other things, to be successful. And I don't have time now to discuss about what success. But listen, part of my job, part of my profession is sacrificing. And you either accept it or not. You know, so that's what I choose back then, and that's it. I mean, that's it.
Heart disease are also more pronounced in sport coaches.
Yeah, certainly that sort of stress, that nervous system is connected to the heart, right? High blood pressure, nervous system and heart inflammation, high cholesterol, all those things connected to high stress and high inflammation, there's no doubt. And sort of the emotional stress, being apart from families and being apart from sort of loved ones, having a second family, as it were, and sometimes that second family is more important than your first family. But having that sort of emotional aspect, it affects the heart. And let's not forget that emotions are heart-centered. And so in this high sort of emotion sort of atmosphere, of course your heart is going to be more affected than most organs. And so it's not just a physiological type situation going there, but it's definitely an emotional sort of situation going there on there as well. And sort of course, when you have success, when you have happiness, your heart improves. And when things don't go so well, then there's the ups and downs of sports and anything in life. But are there some immune situations going on with heart inflammation? Absolutely. Have we seen heart inflammation on the rise in the last 3 or 4 years, post-COVID, post-virus? Yes. This is how infections can affect the heart as well. And sort of, it's not just emotional stress, not just physical stress, but there are infection stresses as well. And so we've seen that now with this immune problems that we've had for the last 3 or 4 years. And so address all those 3 things in order to reduce blood pressure, reduce heart disease for sure.
The relationship between the team coach and the team doctor.
Yes, what about it?
Do you have some relationship
There is a
between them?
movie from 80s, The Highlander, and there is a very specific sentence, there could be only one. So there could be only one. Like, listen, at the end of the day, his job is to recommend. His job is to recommend. I'm making final decisions. I'm paid to make hard decisions. And I'm paid to live through bad decisions also. So doctors, yeah, they have their role for sure. And that's one of the most important relationships in a staff that you should work with. But listen, now I will be brutally honest. Maybe that's not healthy, but you need to understand, you're coming to a club and you are in a club while you're winning or while the guys are performing on the level that the guys who are paying you expect. So in other words, you are there until your results are the way people are expecting to be. So I'm pretty sure you're a big sports fan. So how many times you paid a ticket, went to the arena or the stadium and start yelling, "Doctor, get out. Doctor, go home." You never heard that. But you heard like, "Hey, coach, go home. Pack your bags." And what I'm trying to understand is, I understand that their jobs are not results. They're not based on a results. And our jobs are. And that's just the core difference, you know? And I'm really, how to say that, very early in a season, I tried to have a meeting with, I will use the term medical staff, physiotherapists, doctors, Philip as performance coach. I said, guys, let's first talk, let's clear who's the guy who will present information to me. That's him. Why? We work together. He knows how to explain it the way I understand it. Maybe that's not the best explanation, but that's the best explanation for me. Okay, he knows what I want, he knows what I need, he knows what I don't want and what I don't need. So basically, all of them, they still have a vote. I'm expecting them to be proactive, to be professionals and all that. But decisions, last decisions are mine. If you know what I mean, what I'm trying to say. Some clubs, yeah, you have problems with doctors. You have problems with doctors. Doctors have problems with coach. Different levels. Sometimes coaches are out of the clubs because of doctors and vice versa. So it's okay. That's part of the sport. I believe that successful environment should have one leader And I believe in direct, connection between that person, in this case, let's say head coach, and the guy who's on the top. That's just me. I'm not, again, saying that it's the right way or the only way. And I believe 9 of 10 doctors will say, look, that's just BS, or it's so stupid what he's talking about, but that's just what I believe in,
Just to say, I back that up. I don't know of any team that you know the doctor of that team. It shouldn't be that way. You shouldn't know the doctor's name related to that team. And so you know the head coach, you know the star players. Why should you know the doctor? And so that's, I wouldn't say the significance of their role of a doctor, but you shouldn't really sort of know the doctor of a team otherwise, because usually if you know the doctor's name, it's usually because he's causing problems or he's not healing the team or too many players are getting injured. But in the end, the coach takes the fall. The coach takes the hit for success and productivity. And so, he is the much more important role than a doctor, that's for sure. Sure, we're a small part of a wheel, but there's no way that doctors should make decisions about sort of what happens on the field. That's for sure.
Again, going back to 3 R's. Explain the rules, explain the roles, explain the responsibilities. That's the first week of the preseason.
Coaches are an extremely important factor of every sports team or individual. That is exactly why the coach must always be at the highest level of his performance. In which way coaches struggle with various factors that prevent them from being at the highest possible level.
Listen, that's something that me and Philip and myself were talking about a lot the last few years. Like everybody's talking about athletes' performance, are they in a good shape, or how they feel? Are they on the top of their ability, high, low? It's pretty much the same with the coaches, but I understand I don't do my job on the same level all the time. I understand that, I'm super aware of it. I understand my players are not on the same level all the time. I also understand the referees are not on the same level. Referees don't understand this also. Once you start telling them that they're super defensive in a guard, no. It's the same with other coaches. But the fact is, you need to understand that, there are many reasons, many factors that maybe you're not sure 100%. Also, with years, with experience, you can learn how to protect others, guys around you, like the environment around you, from yourself, even if you're not on 100% still being a pro, and just being on the level that people expect you to be. But it's not that easy, to be honest, and it's, nobody cares about your problems. It's the same with the players, nobody cares. Because people want to see the best possible performers exactly at the game when they're coming to watch and they pay tickets for. So it's sports. Then now we don't have time to go deeper to that, but it's understanding of the role of the sports in a society. But I accept that for various reasons, I'm not 100% every time. Of course, I'm functioning better, team functioning better when I'm closer to my max. Some coaches, they don't build a system that it's based on their performance, like heavily based. Some coaches are different, so that's also a factor. That's it.
Do you find that the players follow the lead of the coach as well, or is it important?
Can I answer?
Yeah, sure.
So like Gilles said, this is what we're discussing all the time, like his performance, because in Europe still most of the systems, it's with the coach, he's a strong character, so he wants.
Yeah.
Still,
it's a little bit different.
It's becoming now.
Place,
yeah. But like generally on the high level, you have strong figure coaches that wants to be followed, right? So they manage to build a system so players follow where they go. So what we recognize is that, you as a coach, you have a performance. I have my performance. I'm not on the highest level every day. So what we try to like create also a periodization, a pattern for him to be the best possible when he's the most important. And it's not gonna happen if he's spending energy like high intensity. So he has a tool. His tool is like he needs to be high energetic in a relationship. He has to be super focused. Like he has to make a decision fast. So this is a performance, right? So he has to recognize on the court what's happening and boom, react in a split second, in a 5 seconds, 1 minute. If he didn't react, the tempo of a game changes. So players follows him. So if he drops with the intensity, the whole group of people drops with him because they follow. It's like a pact, you know. We have a strong figure, everybody follows. So if he made a bad decision, everybody suffers. So if he drops with the intensity, the whole group drops. So when I was thinking about how we need to raise the intensity and thinking about the factors, change, run more, push them more, scream more, then I figured, wow, we have a strong figure. They're following him like crazy, but then you have oscillations in every coach. So when I spoke with also other coaches, they recognize they oscillate, but they don't know why, and they don't put attention to it. So we try to optimize performance and build a practice and build a game so he comes on that practice or a game that's important on the highest level. So if you have like an example for maybe coaches to understand, if you have a coach with a high blood pressure, so which is your topic, so I'm gonna like lean it towards you, or you have a coach with constipation, and he's gonna have a drop in performance. He's gonna come with the brain fog. He's not gonna see clearly, and he's not even aware of it because it's a normal state. So maybe you can say, this is why we want to implement also immune system with the coaches, not only with the players, not only with the coaches, with all the people. So this is the reason why Stuart came here, like to try to like bring a new topic, a new feel among everybody, because you guys here, you have your performance, right? And it's deeply connected to immune system. So if the immune system is overloaded, your performance for sure will drop down.
Stuart, there's also another thing, like once you recruit people who work with you on a daily basis, call it staff or whatever. I mean, there's a you know, a short story that I like to use about like people who are working for me, like Philip is working for me with me. He's accepting that, you know, he needs to be in my shadow.
Definitely.
Bigger tree, bigger shadow. If you don't understand that, I believe you cannot be the successful part of a group. And we really insist on like as pure as possible definition of the term assistant coach. Like what is your job? Not responsibility, like what is the essence of your job? Same approach to the players. And then if you create that type of system, you actually put an extra burden on yourself, you know. And then you have to perform also on a highest possible level as many times as possible. But me understanding that I'm not always on the top, I believe it helps everybody to understand that. And then, like, as a projection of it, there's also a super interesting thing, like fear of not performing well among the players. And once they understand that you as their leader or one of the leaders, you don't have that type of fear. Like, you don't let that change the way you are functioning. They understand that they should not fear also. which helps. You know, because with all the problems that you have, you don't need another problem called fear of bad performance. Individual at a certain game. So I think it helps.
Okay, Stuart, can you like a little bit motivate people, like the example I gave, like a performance of regular people or coaches, which is not running, it's a different kind of performance, and how the immune system and those kind of examples, like a diabetes and constipation and migraine in coaches, can influence their capability of being on a highest possible level or in a field they're doing. Even if you are a housewife, you need to have a performance, right? You have to be on top of your game every day. And if the immune system is overloaded, you're gonna drop down in energy. You're gonna have a chronic fatigue. You're gonna wake up feeling super bad.
And people don't realize how the immune system does affect your brain, does affect your decision making, does affect your calmness, your anxiety, your depression, right? And so don't wait till it gets into a serious problem like an anxiety or depression where you're making bad decisions. There are always signals that your body is slowing down or is highly anxious before it gets to a more serious situation. And so one of those situations is constipation, high blood pressure, fast heart rate. Those are things that happen even before you get anxious, even before you have depression. And so don't ignore those sort of signals that your body is trying to tell you that your dysfunction is not well or you're not functioning at the best of your ability. And so take care of those little things before they become a big issue is really what you should be looking for. Because there is something called the gut-brain axis. What happens in your gut happens in your brain. And there's also the brain-gut axis. So if you're anxious, you're going to be constipated, and then that is going to make you toxic. And when you become toxic, you can be angry, you can be slow, you can be depressed, and you can sort of have slow performance. And so just so don't ignore the little signals that your body is trying to tell you that there's something going on. It's not normal.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.